Okay.
She also saw 9.
Group 3, 8. Group 4.
9. I counted you.
Okay, group 4, who's the group leader? Manideva. Group 5, Gabor. Okay, and how many in group 5 presents? 10. Okay. Carl, which? You're in group 5. Okay, Carl, you be in group 3. Group 3 because you are in the retreat. You know how the groups work. And so basically, as I said earlier, those who are the seniors mean that who do Buddhist philosophy teachings for long duration time. Your job is primarily to invite questions and then let everybody speak, give answers, and then what you have learned, then you share what you've learned with them. But at the same time, they let others speak. This is so important. And tomorrow, from today to tomorrow, everybody knows how it works. So everybody take their own, and everybody will take the lead of the group, meaning that it's by turn. Everybody gets a turn to the moderate. It's more like not as a leader, it's like a moderator. So this idea. Okay, good. And any pressing questions? Any pressing questions which they came up in the group discussion? And okay, so I'm sure you have many questions. What we can do is that let's be a little patient for the next 2-3 days, and many of these questions will be resolved eventually. But if you do have some questions, very pressing ones, you can bring them up. First, bring them in group discussions and see how others respond. And in a way, it's very good. The others can also benefit out of your question. Okay, Letrubla, your question?
In our group, we had this question about the clapping of the hands.
The hand clapping.
Okay. So what is the answer? Which group?
Is it like making a point?
No, Letrubla, what is your group?
Group number 3.
Group 3. Okay, group 3. So what was the Letrubla's point of view is making a point?
No, in our group, I think we came to the conclusion if that's the meaning.
Okay, making a point is good. Okay, so basically it's good, the point brought up. The clapping, when you're happy?
No.
Then?
When we were, while reciting the mantras.
Which mantra?
In the prayer.
Harsuta mantra. I know. Okay, good. When the Harsuta mantra, when the words are very positive or negative? Little negative, right? The spelling. Okay. We will, this retreat, we will learn that everything is like a dream, which means everything is coming from your mind. When it's everything is coming from your mind, means that it's not like, you can think of anything. That, now I just imagine that the temperature is 30 degrees centigrade and above 30 degrees centigrade. This is nihilism, this is not emptiness. This is not the meaning of everything is like a dream. But for the time being, these thoughts may come to you. If everything is like a dream, then I can imagine whether it's so pleasant, it's like 30 degrees centigrade or 25 degrees centigrade, it's so pleasant, but it's not becoming that. So this is our nihilistic view, and you will come to learn more about these. In other words, later we'll learn that everything is a dream, everything is projection in mind, everything is convention. So, okay, what is this? Peace. Peace.
Victory.
2, peace, victory, right? So what is this? 2 victories? Because there are 2 V's, right? 2 victories. It's purely convention. You're getting it? Simply because you add more fingers doesn't mean that two victories and more victories. No, it's a pure convention. This victory or peace, and there's two pieces. No, it's purely convention. So, likewise, clapping is a pure convention. So, for example, wearing the hats is courteous or not courteous? Hey, what do you think?
Good.
No, I'm not asking good or bad. I'm asking courteous or not courteous.
Whatever you think.
Exactly. It's convention. So, say in some the conventions, wearing the hat is considered very courteous. In some, wearing the hat is considered very non-courteous. You getting it? It's purely convention. So whereas people see these conventions, convention means not objectively real, it's what your mind creates. You getting it? For example, let's say that you said this victory sign. 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, if somebody does it mean victory? It's a later development. You getting it? It is a later development. And if you check Google search, now you can easily Google search it. When did it first come into the convention? You can Google search it, right? Not now. So the point is that these are all pure conventions. Convention means these are created by somebody. Okay, the street light, when it shows green, you go or you stop? Go. Red? Yellow? Yellow is about to change, right? From green to red or red to green, right? About to change. Okay, so with the green, green, stop or go? Why go?
It's a convention.
It's pure convention. Who made a convention? Somebody made a convention. Somebody made a convention. The person's mind made a convention. Yes? You agree? So, look, convention means somebody's mind makes it. Mind is subject or object? Subject. So therefore it is like dream. Dream is the mind of the object. Dream is mind of the object. Your mind seen as object. You getting it? Your mind seen, so actually it's your mind. So subjective, convention, dreamlike, they all mean the same. You getting it? So therefore, clapping is a pure convention. Clapping, in some places, clapping means good. Some places clapping means bad. Putting hats in some places is good. In some places it's bad. It's purely your convention. There's nothing objectively real there. So this is what we're going to learn. If you see that everything's convention, it gives you such a freedom. You're getting it? It gives us such a freedom. Mentally, you feel such a liberation. It's very liberating to know that everything is a convention. That your mind will feel total liberation. This is known as fearlessness. So to know everything like dream, to know everything as a convention, is extremely the very powerful tool to liberate us from the pains of samsara. You getting it? So clapping is just a convention, where in Tibet in those days is a convention to ward off the evil forces. It's a convention to ward off the evil forces, and nowadays in many places, clap means is a welcoming. Is welcoming, is celebration. You enjoy, or you congratulate somebody. This is how you interpret it. There's nothing, the hard and fast rule. So it's just pure convention. Good. Okay. So now we'll continue our class. Where did we list this morning? Anyone who can remind me?
Two types of mental obstacles that block us from Buddha nature.
Okay. So what blocks our Buddha nature from manifesting it in the form of fearlessness and infinite happiness? There's the mental obscurations there. Technically, the word that we use is mental obscurations. And the mental obscurations, there are two kinds. One is afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. Two, which is subtler? Cognitive obscurations is subtler. So this is what we learned. Now you may be wondering, what examples do we have for afflictive obscurations? What examples do we have for your cognitive obscurations? The first, afflictive obscurations. Afflictive obscurations, broadly speaking, but how many of you know that your family member, one particular family member is angry? How do you know that? Do you know that? When one of your family members is angry, you know that, oh, now she's angry, he's angry, we should be a little careful. You know that? How do you know that? Yeah?
Expression,
Experience.
their words,
To the words, yelling, and facial expressions, tightness, right? And say good morning, right? Hey, good morning, good morning. Right? Something's wrong, right? From there you can see, from the expressions. Okay, one is expression, and the other one is what makes a person sometimes good morning, good morning, how are you? Other one's good morning, right? Realize the difference. Why in one there's such a beautiful expression coming out. One expression is so cold. Why this difference? How this difference is coming? What makes the difference? Anyone?
one is present, and the other one is in the past or the future.
Okay, what actually triggered the difference? Anyone? No, reasons. Yes, over there.
Not liking something about what's happening, whether it's the mind or the mind projection on what's happening outside.
Yes.
Can you repeat that?
That there's a mind inside you. When this mind does not like you, then expression is very different. When it likes you, expression is very gentle. Nice. You agree? Say, one is that the trigger point, the trigger. And what is triggered? What is triggered is the expressions. And what triggers is the mental state. What triggers in loose sense, for example, saying very angry face, yelling, these are the expressions. These are what are triggered. What are triggered are the contaminated karmas. Karmas meaning actions. You getting it? You bang the table, verbally abuse the other person. These are all actions. Actions in Sanskrit is karma. So these are contaminated karmas. They're good or bad? Yelling at you, good, bad? Or not good, bad. And what triggered that is a mental state. There's one particular mindset, which when that person is very happy, the person will yell or not? Will not yell at you, but the person is very happy. You're getting it? Which means the person is unhappy with you. So that trigger inside is pure mental state that triggered the physical expressions, verbal expressions. So physical, verbal, mental expressions, these are the contaminated karmas, and what triggered these is known as afflictions. For example, anger, attachment, craving, jealousy, belligerence, spite, and so forth. All these mental states, they are known as afflictions. And the expressions which are created by these afflictions, which triggered by these afflictions, are known as contaminated karmas. So, if you are, for example, like stealing, or for example, hitting somebody, and showing very bad face, so forth, these are all contaminated karmas, negative karmas. These karmas are triggered by the mental emotions known as afflictions. So, if somebody would ask you what constitutes afflictive obscurations, we can say contaminated karmas and afflictions. These are the two say the afflictive obscurations, and then we can go a little more detail in a while. So for the time being, if somebody were to ask you what kind of afflictive obscurations are there, you can say the physical, so the wrong actions, and mental wrong thoughts, known as afflictions. So we also need to learn the technical terms, afflictions. Okay.
If we are angry because somebody has caused us pain, then
Okay, let's say that somebody's caused you pain and you are angry. You're getting it? Okay. So these questions are very good. Very good. All these questions, you should not refrain. You have to ask this. You're getting it? You have to ask this. But be a little patient. For the time being, we are creating this structure. Create skeleton. When you're creating the skeleton of the house, don't ask where's the table lamp. Table will come later. You're getting it? Okay. So then we may say that, oh, if this is the how you're doing the cement and so forth, then where will put this cloth? This cloth will become dirty. Don't worry, this cloth will come later. You're getting it? So this is a very important question. You have to ask this. You have to ask this at the right time. Okay, first, for time, what are we doing? We are creating the skeleton. Once the skeleton, you get the skeleton, then plastering happens. So we will do the questions. Okay, good. So what we're doing? What am I asking? So you talk about the afflictive obscurations. So what are they? Like what? Contaminant karmas and afflictions, right? Then if I ask you what contaminant karmas are there, like what? For example, like 10 non-virtuous karmas. 10 non-virtuous, contaminated, 10 non-virtuous in simple terms, 10 non-virtuous. There are thousands and thousands. But if you say 1,000, then you may feel hopeless. Right? So 10 is simple. 3 physical, 4 verbal, and 3 mental. Let me repeat it. 3 physical, 4 verbal, and 3 mental. 3 physical, stealing, killing, and sexual misconduct. Let me repeat it. 3 physical, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. 4 verbal. What are they? Telling lies, slandering, harsh speech, and idle gossip. Let me repeat it. Okay. Lying, telling lies, slandering, creating split or divisions among the people who are otherwise very friendly, make them the enemies or make them disliking each other. That is not divisive words or slandering. Then harsh words, and then the idle gossip. Useless talks, idle gossip. 4 and 3 mental. 3 mental. What are they? Covetousness. What is the spelling? What? COVETOUS NES is covetousness. COVETOUS NES is covetousness, meaning that the craving or desiring for the belongings of somebody else, desiring for the possession of others. That is the covetousness. Okay, then the ill will, and finally wrong views. Wrong view. Okay, covetousness, ill will, and wrong view. Okay, covetousness is desiring the possession of somebody else. It can happen on various levels. Individual, and then to the national level, international level, all these things can happen. And also ranging from, something small things like the material objects to the, human relationships, This is all very dangerous. Covetousness, designed for the partner of other people. These are all very complicated things. So we should be very careful. Okay, these 10. If there are thousands of such things, but if you can refrain from these 10, you're doing good. You're doing good. From the 10. And then the afflictions. Number these contaminant karmas. And then the second set is afflictions. Afflictions like what? Desire, anger, jealousy. How many such things are there? Again, so many there, but we can group them all into 3 families. All the afflictions. By the way, afflictions per se, how do you define it? Afflictions is defined as a mental factor, the presence of which disturbs your mind. Let me repeat it. A mental factor. Affliction is defined as a mental factor, presence of which disturbs your mind. A mental factor, the presence of which disturbs your mind. This is affliction. A mental factor, the presence of which disturbs your mind. Affliction. So affliction, although there are thousands of afflictions, kinds of affliction are there, but they can all be grouped into 3 families. Okay.
So could you just give an example of wrong view?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, wrong view is the, particularly, more precisely in this context, wrong view is the view which disbelieves in the efficacy of cause and effect, which doesn't believe in the efficacy of the cause and effect, accuracy of the cause and effect. In other words, that you do bad things and miseries will follow. This is cause and effect. You do good things and happiness will follow. This is a cause-effect relationship. For example, if you don't study well, you'll fail. If you study well, you'll pass. This is a cause and effect, and you don't believe in this, the cause and effect relationship. In other words, cause and effect relationship, particularly with the virtues giving rise to happiness, non-virtues giving rise to miseries. If you don't believe in this, then you can potentially do all non-virtuous things. Because non-virtuous things, they are easy to do. Virtuous things, they are difficult to do. So we want to go for the easy one. Right? For example, money, easy to go into corruption and so forth very easily. Right? Deceiving others so easily. But to really earn a decent livelihood is more difficult. So virtuous things are more difficult to be done if you don't believe in if you have the wrong view, not believing in the efficacy of cause and effect, then there's a likelihood that we engage in the means.
Isn't it also wrong view if I say, well, I think that I'm already enlightened?
This is, of course, a very serious wrong view. Yes. Right. Okay, I'm the enlightened one, right? Was in America. Okay, the one teacher was here, the photograph here, with Lama Soba when he was young, and the other teacher with the specs on, that is Gyabshi, and the Kirti Sensha Rinpoche, amazing enlightened master, and just look at him, look at his face, there's so much of joy and compassion exuding from his face. And this is exactly what he was like when he was alive. You go there, you will see him like this. And then it was perhaps the teaching tour in America. And he with his attendants were there. And there was one gentleman, American gentleman, came and saw him. And there's so much of smile, compassion exuding from his face. And then this gentleman, he came straight to Rinpoche and said, "You are a Buddha." Right? You are enlightened. Then Rinpoche, he did not speak English, and appreciate there's natural glow of compassion and smile. And when following that, he said that I'm also Buddha. So these are the extreme wrong views. Okay, good. Okay. Your question?
Yeah, it's just examples of.
Done.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so now we're talking about the afflictions. Afflictions, there are so many kinds. So the distinction between the afflictions and the contaminant karmas is more like the causal. Afflictions more like the causes which trigger the contaminant karmas. You getting it? Generally speaking, this is how we have to know. So that they go together. And contaminant karmas are the ones which actually are responsible for our miseries. Immediate cause of the miseries are the contaminant karmas, and contaminant karmas are triggered by the afflictions. For example, like what happens is that some people, say relatives or friends, whatever, one person persuades somebody to engage in killing. And person A persuaded and person B actually did the act of killing. So who will be arrested? The person who killed, right? And then but he's the one who persuaded me to do that, right? Then the person may defend himself, say that no, I didn't say this, right? Even if somebody said it, but you did it, right? So the karmas, contaminant karmas, these are responsible for our immediate miseries in samsara, and what triggers these the contaminant karmas is afflictions. Afflictions trigger the contaminant karmas. Okay. Then your question is, what triggers afflictions? Right? What triggers afflictions? This could be in a question. Okay. For this, before we go into this part, in case if I tend to say the skip points, you have to put me back into the track. You have to remind me. Otherwise, there are so many materials. I may jump from here, there, and then by the time the three families, right? This is what we are supposed to be doing. And thank you. So afflictions, we see that there are thousands of afflictions, but we can put them all into three groups, three families. So in the first place, the afflictions is defined as a mental state or mental factor, the presence which disturbs your mind. This affliction. Then the next is that these afflictions, they are the trigger. They are the triggers of the contaminant karmas. Now the afflictions, we see that there are three kinds, three families. All afflictions can be grouped in three families. And to give you one idea, the afflictions like, for example, desire. Desire for, let's say, cheesecake. How many are fond of cheesecake? Raise hands. Okay. So when I give the example of cheesecake, don't think that I like cheesecake. You getting it? Singapore, first time I gave the example of cheesecake was in Singapore, and the very evening somebody brought the huge cheesecake. I don't like cheesecake. I don't think that I like cheesecake. Okay. So let's say that you're craving your desire for cheesecake. Your desire for cheesecake. And why? Which cheesecake? Fresh cheesecake or the rotten cheesecake? And desire for fresh cheesecake. For rotten cheesecake, aversion. You agree? Rotten cheesecake, instead of attachment, you get aversion. Aversion. Okay. So, what is the difference between these two emotional states? Attachment to cheesecake and aversion to the rotten cheesecake. What's the difference?
Like two sides of
These two are the two opposites.
Yeah.
Two opposites. One clings and one runs away. Okay, do you agree? Your name?
Joy.
Do you agree with Joy? That these two emotional states, one goes towards the object, one runs away from the object. You agree? So, running towards the object is known as involuntary pull. Other one is involuntary push. You're getting it? So, involuntary means loss of freedom. Right? But the moment you see the cheesecake, sunshine, instantly your mind will feel uplifted. Yes? Right? You have the thick blanket with you now, and suddenly there's a beautiful sunshine, sun just getting into and it's so warm, and cheesecake comes. Right? Then instantly your mind feels uplifted. Okay, which means that the craving arises. What's craving? Involuntary pull. Involuntary means loss of freedom. You don't have freedom. Right? So, involuntary pull. Involuntary push. So, when does involuntary pull happens? When the pleasant feeling arises. You agree? Cheesecake, you see cheesecake and pleasant feeling comes, then involuntary pull happens. Your mind is pulled by the object. Then the rotten cheesecake appears, and then they say first fresh cheesecake, and then the person says, I'm very sorry, this is not for you, this is for other person. Yours one, this one, rotten one. Right? Instantly what happens? Your mind sinks. You're getting it, your mind deflates. Okay. So the aversion arises. Involuntary aversion arises. So we see that our mind, with a pleasant feeling, fresh cheesecake, pleasant feeling comes. And then your mind is glued towards this involuntary pull. Then when you see the rotten cheesecake, unpleasant feeling arises. And you don't like this unpleasant feeling. So your mind is involuntarily pushed by the object. So involuntary pull and push. 2. Then what happens if the feeling is neutral? Pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling. Pleasant feeling, involuntary pull happens. This is attachment family. Unpleasant feeling, push happens. This is aversion family. Aversion family. So, the third one is neutral feeling. Your mind is not pulled, not pushed. You agree? So, do you agree with me that all afflictions can be grouped into these 3 categories? Either involuntary pull, or involuntary pull, pushed, or neutral. You agree?
Can an afflictive state be neutral?
Good question. You have a question? Gentleman over there? Yes.
Yes, before I was thinking about the involuntary pull that is connected to positive emotion, but what if I'm thinking of the cheesecake but I don't have it? Is that still, there is no positive, there is a conflict between positive emotion and a negative emotion?
Okay, let's say that you don't have the cheesecake, you just think about it. You just think about it and then involuntary pull happens? Yes, no.
Yes.
There is involuntary pull there. Okay. Involuntary pull is there. And then the moment you think about cheesecake, would you want the thing? You prefer cheesecake or you like cheesecake in the first place? Mm-hmm. Good. Or you don't like?
I do like.
You don't like rotten cheesecake?
Rotten, no.
Okay. So if I ask you to think of only one thing, either you choose one. Think of fresh cheesecake or rotten cheesecake, which you want to think?
Fresh one.
Good. I like to think that. I like to, which involuntary pull happens already. You're getting it? Because when you think of this, pleasant feeling comes. When you think of the rotten cheesecake, unpleasant feeling comes. Right? So, pleasant feeling comes, then your mind wants a pleasant feeling. Because of which, your mind is glued to its involuntary pull happens. Even if it is without cheesecake, mental think of this, still the feeling survives. Okay, so Rainbow's question is about what about neutral feeling? How the afflictions related to this? This is a very serious question. Okay, anybody who likes to help me? Rainbow, articulate the question.
So, I could understand, like with craving and aversion, that there's some sort of agitation involved, and so how that would relate to an afflictive state. But like a neutral response seems to be absent of any type of agitation, and so I'm curious how it relates to an afflictive state.
Yes, very good question. You answer?
Like indifferent,
Huh?
being indifferent, and like don't have any like, discrimination about like I don't know.
Okay, let's say that the being indifferent. What's the problem if there's indifferent? At times the involuntary pull, yes, there's a problem. Involuntary push, there's a problem. But
Involuntary indifferent.
involuntary, the why involuntary?
Like you can choose,
You can choose.
but it's kind of same driving by the same ignorance, no?
Okay, the same joy,
Joy.
Joya,
Yeah.
or Joya. Since Joy is a philosopher. Okay, let's see here.
I won't be able to make a decision
Why?
because I'm neutral.
That's good. You made a decision to be neutral.
If I'm neutral about a situation, so neutral that I cannot make a decision on my
No, you made. You made. You said that I'm not going to be attached, I'm not going to be averse, I'm going to be neutral. This is my decision. Anyone else? Yes, Sharif Pema. I know she's expert. Anyone else?
Disengagement? Like
Huh?
disengaging? Just like not.
What's the problem if you disengage? What's the problem? Don't make things boring. Right? Yes.
Maybe like on the basis of this neutral affliction can go like push or pull.
Okay. So with the neutral later on, then the push and pull can potentially happen.
Yes.
So what's the problem?
Maybe,
No, that is a later problem. It's not.
right now I'm push and neutral, I'm happy, but maybe in 10 minutes I'm hot, and then I'm
Cold.
not happy.
Okay, so you are saying that neutral feeling is like the foundation for the involuntary pull and push later.
Maybe.
Okay, so let's say that, which means everybody has everybody have to have affliction. Everybody, because you have to have three feelings. Whether you're Buddha, not Buddha, everybody has to either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. So everybody has to have affliction. If you have affliction, loss of freedom. Okay, your name?
Thomas.
What Thomas said is very good point. This will come in the discussions. This is a very good point. Simply because I challenged Thomas doesn't mean that what he said is wrong. Right? Okay, good point. Anybody else? Here.
Maybe neutral can be also meaningless. I'm not averse, I'm not attached, but it's neutral, but it's still occupying my energy and time. So I'm not at peace, or I'm not putting my energy at something that is meaningful.
No, I'm so lucky that I'm not, I'm not into two sides. I'm not extreme. I'm in the middle. I'm neutral. Middle is so good. Middle way is so good. What's wrong over there?
Would it be neutral? Like, let's say, oh, like you're bringing cheesecake. Oh, I would like some cheesecake. You'd love to get it. But by the time you get to it, no more cheesecakes left. You go, okay, no problem. Is that more of like a neutral path, or?
So no cheesecake? No problem. That's neutral. Good. Right? It's good. It's not wrong. Anyone else? Over there. Maybe the last. Okay.
It seems like maybe there's a difference between equanimity and neutral. So equanimity is like regardless of kind of what's going up and down, there's space, but there's still alertness. Whereas neutrality, maybe there's just not seeing. You just don't notice something. Like you just are not.
No, I'm very neutral. I see you two things. I'm neutral. Right? You see, but still you maintain neutral. Good.
Is that what it means, though? Is that what it is?
Yes.
You said that the wrong view can be contaminated karma. So wrong view can become from ignorance, being neutral. I don't care enough to know what's right. So I actually have a wrong view, but I don't even know about it because I don't care enough to.
Okay, so let's put it like this. Let's not bring any form of ignorance or neutral, a specific neutral where the feeling, what we said is a pleasant feeling, involuntary pull happens. This is attachment family. Unpleasant feeling happens, involuntary push happens. This is the aversion family. Then the neutral feeling comes. So what's wrong with this? This question. This is Rainbow's question. Give answer.
So could it also be just in the absence of compassion? So if you're neutral, then you don't care one way or the other, so you won't be motivated to act if there's something going on, like a wrongdoing. Like you don't care about suffering, for example.
Okay, that's... so neutral is a problem.
In this example, I would say yes.
Okay.
To not have compassion and not care, not be moved.
So which means pleasant feeling is a problem. Unpleasant feeling is a problem. Neutral feeling is a problem. So everything is a problem.
Potentially, yeah.
So when you become Buddha, there's a problem.
Say again?
When you become a Buddha, there's a problem.
No problem.
Because the Buddha also has to have these three feelings.
Yeah, but he has compassion.
This is what I'm saying. Neutral is also there.
Okay.
Neutral feeling is also there. Okay.
Can I try?
Yes.
Maybe the problem is not a neutral feeling, but for exaggeration. Like not seeing, like the neutral feeling which is based on something which is not good.
Like what?
Like, I don't know how to explain it with things we said, maybe like permanence, like one view. Ignorance based on like neutral feeling based on a one view.
Okay, let's say that the world is impermanent, but you see that the world is permanent. You have a neutral feeling. So what's wrong?
But
okay. Thank you. Okay, let's say that this is actually a big discussion in this book, A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, and later you will also study Acharya Chandragir's text, which is Madhyamaka Avatar. Of course, not here. If you are interested in these courses, then the Acharya Chandragir's text, we'll study that. In there, how these three different feelings arise will give rise to afflictions, provided you have a belief that things are all real, things are all objectively real. Then the problems happen. Okay, let me give you an example, because this is just the day one. Very quick. Let's say that, you fall asleep and you start dreaming. In the dream, your mother comes with the cheesecake. Right? And you're so happy. So, cheesecake, and then you have the pleasant feeling, and then involuntary pull happens. Right? And then by the time you are about to get hold of the cheesecake, a cat jumps off the cheesecake. Then he gets doubled, and then the unpleasant feeling comes. Aversion happens to the cheesecake, to the cat. So, involuntary pull happens towards the cheesecake. Involuntary push happens towards the cat who jumped over the cheesecake, right? And then then you must say, don't worry. So this cheesecake is only $10. I'll give you cheesecake, $100 worth of cheesecake. You're happy, right? And then later, for time being, your mind is, okay, I don't really have to worry about having lost the cheesecake. I'll get a cheesecake, right? Okay. So you are, mentally at ease, more neutral, for the same neutral. So there was the problem with this neutral. So this problem with neutral, you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it?
Yes, sir.
You want to hear it now or you want to hear it later? Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, if you want to hear, Then let me put it like this. Saying that the okay, let's say that, let's take extreme example. Say you have in a dream, you have a very pleasant family gathering. Pleasant family gathering, yes. And then you took everybody, all the family members to Shita. And then Venerable Gumbela said that, okay, we'll all have audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Happy? Good. And then we're all in the dream, we're all going for audience with His Holiness. Then His Holiness told Venerable Gumbela, why not you'll have tea together with me? Happy, not happy? Having a cup of tea with His Holiness. Happy, not happy? Raise hands. Very happy. Okay. Right? And coming back, there's a huge storm. An acutely cold temperature, -15. Drops to -15, extremely cold. Everybody is freezing, almost freezing to death. Right? And okay, now I'm dead. Right? When you say I'm dead, your mother wakes you up. You're not into Shita, you're in your own home. Your mother wakes you up. Okay, 3 moments. First moment, that in the dream, His Holiness is inviting you for a cup of tea. You like it? Very pleasant. Second moment is what? Where the storm and then the freezing cold and you feel that you're dying. And the next moment, your mother wakes you up. Okay, same. The first dream. How many of you like to have the first dream? Raise hands. Good. And how many of you will have the first dream tonight? Raise hands. Why not? Why not go to have the first dream? It's so pleasant. Why you're not going to have the first dream? Hey, Rendo, tell me.
We don't have control.
We don't have the control. We don't have the freedom to choose the first dream. You're getting it? Raise hands. Good. So, that is lack of freedom. You getting it? So, dream connotes lack of freedom. Now, say, in the case of the cheesecake dream, involuntary pull, involuntary push, then the third one is, okay, your mind is at ease for time being, and then you feel the neutral feeling, still you are in the dream. Right? Dream means lack of freedom. Although it's a neutral feeling, but still neutral feeling is associated with the belief that it is not dream. Right? You see the dream as real. That is ignorance. So even with the neutral feeling, not for all neutral feelings, neutral feeling where you are in the dream. In the dream, present feeling, involuntary pull. Unpleasant feeling, involuntary push. The neutral feeling, ignorance continues. Seeing the dream as real. You getting it? So, there are 3 families of afflictions. One is attachment family. Number 2 is aversion family. Number 3 is ignorance family. So third one, even though it's a neutral feeling, but your ignorance continues. So these are the 3 families of afflictions. Okay, good. So then, as alongside this, I also like to touch what is known as the imprints or the latencies, imprints, tendencies, or the proclivities. They all mean the same. And predispositions, they all mean the same. Latencies, imprints, or seeds of these afflictions or conditional karmas. What do you mean by the latencies or the imprints of the afflictions? For example, how many angry now? Anger is affliction or not? Yes, anger is a very disastrous, the affliction. Anger is affliction. But how many are angry now? I don't say anybody who's angry now. But when you go back after 10 days, again, right, your anger can come up. You go there, you meet your mom, you meet your husband, wife, children, father, mother, and so forth. And then there's such a glow on your face. Right? Wow, what did you do? We have the retreat. We had Tushita. And usually your parents always see you very grumpy. But that time is very different after 10 days. There's a glow on your face and your parents are so happy. I don't know what retreat, but she's very happy. He's very happy. I'm happy. Right? And then your neighbor comes and knocks the door and tells you that yes, can I help you? Right? What help you? You have brought garbage, you have thrown garbage next to my door. Right? And then you say, no, I didn't do it. Yes, you did it. No, I just came down. You came and the garbage came. Right? And then you say, then what do you say? Get out. Enough is enough. Get out. Right? Then the anger comes out. So the last time there's no anger. Right? What happened? Where did this anger come from? From where? From the imprint. You're getting it? So, for example, the rubber band, you leave it like this. If you see this not as a rubber band, you may think that it cannot be stretched. But actually, you pull it, it can be stretched. So it has the potential to be stretched. That potential to be stretched is known as the imprint or the latencies or the proclivities. Likewise, anger, although you're not angry now, but you have the potential to be angry. So that is the seed. So unless we get rid of this seed, your anger, although anger temporarily is not there, but the anger can anytime destroy you. You getting it? So that is known as the seed of the anger. We still have the seed. So even the seeds, active seeds of afflictions and karmic karmas, they are also referred to as afflictive obscurations. So afflictive obscurations, we see karmic karmas, afflictions and their active seeds. You're getting it? Okay, this is what we need to learn. Now, what is next? Yes.
What's the difference between these and conditioning? Like just our conditioning that we pick up over life.
Okay, conditioning. Conditioning is like, let's say that somebody is somebody otherwise very good person is in a bad influence, bad environment. So then eventually this person becomes very negative because of being conditioned by the environment. That is the conditioning from external, imprint is internal. But the conditioning is not necessarily external all the time. It can be external, internal, both. But the imprint is purely internal. Imprint is a conditioning which is purely internal. Whereas conditioning can be internal, external, both. External conditions can be conditioning you to become good or become bad. But the imprint is purely internal. It's conditioning. The past imprints can condition you to become good or to do bad. Yeah, good. Okay. What is next? Yes. So what we did is, we did the afflictive obscurations. Now we have the cognitive obscurations. What constitutes the cognitive obscurations? You're getting it? Okay. So now, the cognitive obscurations, what we learned thus far is that the cognitive obscurations is just examples given. What examples given there? Smell of the garlic like mental defilements. There's example given. And what I also said is that this is more difficult to be removed. This is what we said. Now now another very important point that we are learning is that afflictive obscurations, the presence of this stops us from experiencing fearlessness. Let me repeat it. Our true nature of the mind is so pure. But when these two obscurations come within us, so they block us from experiencing your two goals. First one, which is? The two obscurations. First one, which is afflictive obscurations. The presence of this blocks us from attaining fearlessness. The fearlessness, freedom from miseries. Afflictive obscurations blocks us from attaining fearlessness or freedom from miseries. Freedom from miseries is technically referred to as nirvana. Freedom from miseries is technically referred to as nirvana. Right? You have heard this word, nirvana? So that's why we may take this as some religious word. It is not. It's just a technical term for freedom from miseries. And who are those people who want freedom from miseries? Buddhists or non-Buddhists? Males, non-females? Everyone. So when we use that in the secular context, everybody wants that. So we put it in a technical word, which is nirvana. Nirvana means freedom from miseries, as simple as that. So the afflictive obscurations, presence of this blocks us from attaining nirvana. Let me repeat it. Afflictive of the two obscurations, the first one, afflictive obscurations is the one, the presence of which stops us from attaining nirvana or stops us from attaining liberation from miseries. The second one, cognitive obscurations. The presence of this stops us from attaining the infinite happiness. That infinite happiness is technically referred to as Buddhahood. Buddhahood doesn't mean Buddhism. It simply means the infinite happiness. So let me repeat it. Cognitive obscurations, the presence of this stops us from attaining infinite happiness, which is technically referred to as Buddhahood. You getting it? Okay, now the next question is, what exactly is cognitive obscurations? And what illustrations, what examples do you have for the cognitive obscurations? Okay, this I'm not going to do it here. I want some people to volunteer. Raise your hands. Okay, the girl over there, what's your name? Chewing. So chewing, I will be one to remind me. Anyone else? I want more people to remind me. Two, your name? Peter. Others? Two. Only two. Three. Your name? Fiona. I want two more. Srishti. Elizabeth. Okay, you identify these 5 people? Okay, what are you going to remind me? If you don't know today, then how are you going to remind me later? You getting it? Okay, what are you going to remind me of? What exactly is cognitive obscuration and what examples do you have for cognitive obscurations? You're getting it?
When should we remind you?
Okay, good question. Most likely on day 7 or day 8.
Oh, that's a long time to wait.
If you have Albert Einstein's brain, I'll be happy to explain it tomorrow. Right? And I don't know, I cannot judge whether you have Albert Einstein's brain or not. I'm not too sure. If you have to prove that to me. Then tomorrow I will explain this. Right? Okay, good. Okay, so we have the 2 obscurations done. The next is that now we have to go a little deeper. That is, that these are all the background information we require in order to go into these 2 complicated texts. If you have this background information, then these 2 texts will be so enjoyable. Otherwise, he can become a very dry intellectual exercise. Although it's so full of meaning, will not reap the benefit of these two texts. Okay. One thing that I like to go with you is that the verse which is said by Arya Nagarjuna. Arya Nagarjuna, which said that ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Second line. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. The next line, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. And last line, the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, and the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Okay. I'm going to quickly explain this. Okay, when is the next teaching, next session? At 3 o'clock. So lunch is between 12:30 and we'll do it in the next class. Yeah, we'll stop here. Parasamgate bodhisvatyata Om gate gate Aragate Arasamgate bodhisvatyata Om gate gate Aragate Arasamgate bodhisvaha. 3 prostrations.